Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 4 of OG and the B, where he's the OG and I'm the B. Today is a little special edition because it's my birthday.
Happy birthday. Don't forget to edit like some kind of confetti or something.
Big 2-3, my Jordan year.
Oh.
Yep, so.
Nice Jordan reference there.
Feeling good, happy to be alive, blessed to see another year.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank
and you
you.
look lovely as usual.
Thank you, yeah.
What a great hostess, partner.
So today is going to be strictly Rutgers men's basketball because we've missed a couple games now. Some important games, big conference games. So we're going to hit the Iowa loss, the Northwestern win, and then the upcoming Revenge Ohio State battle on Sunday.
Ooh, exciting stuff. This is what it's all about. Getting into the thick of it.
Yeah, it's really getting serious now. So why don't we start briefly the Iowa
game,
loss.
yes. Iowa loss. Well, obviously we came out flat. I mean, there's no question about it. We even spoke to a couple of the players. They said the same thing. The energy just wasn't there. And you can tell. We've seen enough Rutgers games over the years. In that first 5 minutes, you can almost tell what's going on here. First 10 minutes, tops. Yeah. And they were behind, which is rare. And it's like, oh no, is this going to turn? And it's tough to do that against a team like Iowa.
Yeah.
They're that good. You can turn it against Coppin State. You can turn it against Lafayette. You can turn it against Bucknell. Mm-hmm. But when you get behind, as much as we did against a tough team like Iowa, you give them confidence. A whole bunch of stuff. So what did you think? I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely nailed it, right? Being at the rack, the anticipation is just supposed to be high energy, supposed to be a good, right off the bat, good game. But we could tell right away that wasn't going to be the case. That was their 4th game in 8 days. So they've been coming off of a high, and you had mentioned that it's almost expected to kind of have a weak game at some point. You're not going to be able to keep winning and winning and winning, especially against these Big 10 teams. So when Iowa comes on point and ready to go, they were on fire. They have Murray back. It was a little expected in a way, but...
Well, at least a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
I mean, like we talked about earlier, you can't be up every single game and have an A game. So this is their 4th game in 8 days, and A game, C+ game, back to an A game. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's not such a bad... I mean, if we lost by a point or two on a tough shot, you'd still be feeling bad, but then you'd go, hey, you know what? We still won 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 3. When we looked at the schedule, Maryland, Purdue, Iowa before the season, and I told you we're going to win 2 out of 3 of those, you'd be like, I'll take it. Mm-hmm. So we'll take it.
Yeah.
And they came right back. Obviously, we'll talk about it in a bit, but you could see it in the stats. I mean, they were 38% field goal shooting at home. No, not good enough for Rutgers at home. 27% from 3 at home. Come on, that's a road percentage. And they were out rebounded. Iowa, with a smaller team, out rebounded us at home. That just adds all up to what we talked about, and that's the focus, the letdown. They just weren't there. Just a quick few stats here. We had Mag was 3 out of 10, Paul 2 for 10, Cliff 3 for 8, and most of his 8s are dunks. Mm-hmm. So how does he only make 3 out of 8? Derek 3 for 11.
Yeah.
Probably, as much as I like Derek, and I know he's going to be a really big star for this team, that was probably his worst game.
Agreed.
It really was. That and Temple was 2 tough games for him. Bright spot, though, was Caleb. Caleb had a great game. 6 for 8 from the field, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. If there's one bright spot, Caleb came to play and had a good game. So good job, Caleb. But yeah, Iowa, that was a tough one. I mean, they just came back from beating Indiana. They were down 21. How good are they feeling? Mm-hmm. And
yeah, they definitely just came to play. They were just the better team that day, unfortunately.
And Murray was out quite a few games, so people were thinking, oh, I was not that good. But if you know the team and you follow them, he was out like 3 or 4 games in a row. So now he's starting to get it in his rhythm.
Yeah.
Sanford, oh my God, the 3-point shots that guy was making?
Killing us.
I was screaming, saying, why don't they switch Caleb onto Sanford? He was obviously the hot hand, and they didn't do it, and he killed us.
Yeah, 22 points, 6 for 8, and 6 for 7 free throws.
Yeah, he killed us. He actually killed us. We could never come back. Any little comeback we made, boom, there he is, another 3. And we should have put Caleb on him after his second made 3, try to shut him down. And then that Rebraca,
yeah.
Man, that guy's an animal. He's averaging almost a double-double. 14 points, 9 rebounds. He's tough as nails. I like the way he plays. He reminds me of Luka Groza. Remember the guy they had a few years ago?
Oh, yeah.
He's that kind of a tough ball player, and he can score. And good job, Rebraca. And hey, we're going to see these guys again in the Big 10 tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun, that Big 10 tournament. But anyway, hey, move on to Northwestern. Let's talk about some fun stuff.
Yeah, on the positive side of things, great win against Northwestern on the road once again. So Rutgers can add that game to their belt on the road wins. You know, they're definitely doing a whole lot better this year with their away games, and it's really showing. I mean, how many have they lost so far?
Well, none. Ohio State doesn't count. We won that game. So we'd be 3-0 on the road. How about that?
Wow.
Oh, Rutgers can't win on the road. I'm getting sick and tired of these announcers who are supposedly seasoned announcers on BTN Network, ESPN. They all think they know Rutgers. All they look at is a stat sheet, and somebody must have told them, oh, the last few years Rutgers can't win on the road. What does that have to do with this year's team?
Yeah.
Give me a break. Learn your stuff. Educate yourself. Rutgers is solid on the road and literally 3-0. And this game was almost as big a victory as going to Purdue and beating the number 1 team.
Yeah, because Northwestern is not a team to be played around with this year. This is definitely one of their best seasons as long as I can remember.
Best teams.
Yeah, really good players. I mean, they shut down Bowie pretty well. Audige didn't do so well either. He was 4 for 12.
Yeah, think of Bowie for one. 2 seniors, by the way. Okay, 2 solid veterans. Bowie just had 26 against Indiana. Mm-hmm. Solid ball player. Averaging, like 14, 15 a game. We held him to 13.
Yeah.
But most important, he only made 3 points in the last 15 minutes. Shut him down. And again, hate to keep applauding Mr. McConnell, but he is the Defensive Player of the Year, and that's what he does best. And he shut Bowie down, which was a great move. Mm-hmm. Bowie was 4 for 13 at home.
Yeah, so 4 for 13
and 1 for
6.
Bowie.
And
1 for 6
for
from
12
threes.
For Audige.
And 4 for 12 from Audige. But Bowie, 1 for 6 from 3.
Yeah.
Big,
is he known to be a 3-point shooter?
He's 40%. So, again, the defense, 2 good defensive teams, great defensive battle, and we shut down the right people. Especially Bowie. 3 points in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If I'm a senior and my team is hot and we're moving, I got to score more than 3 in the last 15 minutes.
Half.
He had a few turnovers. He was taking shots. He just wasn't making them. And again, it was because of the tough defense. And obviously a huge win. Northwestern, I don't know if anybody, again, they ignore Northwestern.
That's just what they do with these underdog teams. If you've been poor for at least a couple years, that's all they're going to remember. And then once you start building your team, building your program, that's not recognized until years later on.
That's what kills me about these announcers, or whatever you want to call them, these analysts, ESPN, BTN Network. They don't really get into what these teams are doing right now. They take that kind of history, the culture. Oh, Northwestern, yeah, they're up this year, a little better. They're awesome this year. They beat Michigan State. They beat Illinois. They beat Indiana, come on, this is a solid team. But the best thing is we beat them where?
Away.
At their place. Because Rutgers can't win on the road. Oh, yeah. But these analysts, these guys should be really ashamed of themselves when they don't really dig in and figure this stuff out. So huge road win. They were 7 out of 8 coming in. Talk about a hot team. These guys don't know what losing feels like. They had played 8 games. They won 7.
Yeah.
And then they get Rutgers at home. Sorry, guys. Rutgers is really good this year. And really good everywhere. So we said this last episode, the cat's out of the bag. These guys could win and beat you anywhere, anytime. They play defense. And one of the things you hear a lot is defense travels. It means you play good defense. It doesn't matter. We're home, we're away. You just know how to shut teams down.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about Mr. Clutch real quick. Cam Spencer. Oh my goodness. You know, he had a little slow start at the beginning of the season, but we had mentioned podcast after podcast, he is supposed to be the 3-point shooter. That's what Pico brought him in for. That's what we needed after especially losing Ron Harper Jr. and Gio. We needed someone to step up and really just have no fear and make those threes. And for the past couple games now, Purdue was a huge one. And now again against Northwestern away. What was it, like 15 seconds left in the game? They
about
were tied.
15. Yep. No, we were down 1.
Oh, we were down 1.
Yes.
And no fear. Just.
I'm sorry. We were down 2. And he made it put us up 1. Then we got the ball back. And then they fouled Cam, who made 2 foul shots. Now we're up 3.
And the foul shots.
And he made
ridiculous.
both foul shots. No, he's super. And thank God he's finally getting comfortable, which you could see it. I mean, even at the first few games at the rack, he was missing everywhere. And it's like, oh, he's got to be just nervous. He's just not used to it, and new environment. And shooters have to get that comfort level, because any good shooter will tell you it's up here. Half is technique. Half is technique. The other half is up here.
I would believe it.
Cam now has always had the technique. Now he's got all this, and it shows. And that one shot he made, it was the exact same shot he did against Purdue. He got the ball, a little fake. The guy goes flying by him, dribble left. We said it. That's in. As soon as I saw him pump fake and go left, that's in. It's the exact same shot.
Yeah. Well, if I'm not mistaken as well, I think the first basket that was scored for Rutgers, if not the first basket of the game, was a 3 by Cam. And as soon as that went in, I was like, okay, he has his confidence off the bat. I feel 3s coming all night long. And he did it once again when it was most needed. Plus the free throws again. I mean, that is so huge with all that pressure. And also, I don't know anything about Northwestern Arena, but it seemed pretty intense as well. The student section looked insane. They had these like pool noodle things everywhere. The distraction looked crazy. The noise seemed really loud as well. So
they set a record. It was the largest student turnout in the history of Northwestern basketball. You can find it. It was a little clip on the internet, and if you Google it, and maybe you'll actually see it. Bianca's great at this. She'll post it right there. 1,511 students.
wow.
I think that was the number, showed up, and they said a record turnout for student attendance at a basketball game.
Yeah.
Against Rutgers.
Yeah.
Sorry, students. you ran into the wrong team at the wrong time to make your happy evening a success. But, so another thing to overcome. It was the most raucous.
Ruckus?
How do you say that? R-A-U-C-O-U.
Ruckus?
Raucous crowd. Well, I got to work on that one. It was the craziest, loudest crowd they've had from the students, and Rutgers still went in and beat them. So, great job, guys. And Cam Spencer, great job. So proud of you and how you've overcome that early tough start and a little bit of the wiggly igglies, as we sometimes call them, where, everything's not clicking, but now it is, and good for you. So, big game coming up. Let's segue right into the biggest, in my opinion, game of the year so far?
Because there is so much riding on this game from the last time they met up at Ohio State. We talked about it in our Bad Referee podcast, but that was probably the most disappointing outcome of a game this season. And
in many seasons, when you think about it.
Yeah.
When can we last say we got robbed by a call that the refs didn't know the rule or just didn't make? And we're not talking about a foul. The guy was out of bounds, jumped in, caught the pass, made the basket. You can't do that.
Anywho, we don't need to relive it because we're on to bigger and better things because we know we're going to win this game. But yeah, so Sunday, 2 p.m., they play Ohio State at the Rack. And this is going to be a big payback game because now the team know they should have won last time, and Ohio State knows that Rutgers is going to be on their butt this time. So let's look a little bit into Ohio State.
Well, don't forget, we had Caleb. We talked to him on, I think it was episode 2, where he said, he's circling this game.
They all should.
As revenge.
Everyone
he's
should.
Captain. He's going to make sure they all know it, and he is from Ohio. So he always wants to beat Ohio State. Oh, that was the game last year with the block. Mm-hmm. It was the game last year of the block. That was freaking awesome. I get chills every time I see it on the pregame before on black and white. It's freaking awesome. Whoever does the videos for Rutgers pregame, awesome job.
Yeah, really good.
Awesome. You got a career, buddy. or I could say buddy to a girl too, right? Whoever it is. Excellent job. But go ahead. Let's talk about Ohio State on Sunday.
All right.
What are we looking at?
So 2 games ago for Ohio State, Key got hurt within like a couple minutes of the game, took him out the entire game.
Kind of a lingering injury too from what we saw.
Yeah.
He had it early in the season, got a little better, but okay.
Right. And then so last game against Minnesota, he did not start, but he did play 30 minutes, but I don't think he scored that much. I think he had 8 points or something. He wasn't that
But he got rebounds. I think he
Yeah.
had maybe 10 points, 8 rebounds.
just not fully back, though.
Right.
So we had kind of been wondering what the deal was going to be for Rutgers, but I think since they played him for 30 minutes last game, I think they're almost kind of prepping him for Rutgers as well. So we should see him
Yeah, that's
back.
kind of what you'll do with a player that's been out. You don't start him, and maybe if you don't need him, you're not putting him in. Mm-hmm. But they needed him. They were hoping to sit him out against Minnesota because as soon as the coach sees the game getting out of hand, he's like, Zed, get in there. Can you go? Get in there.
Yeah.
And he played 30 minutes, and they still lost.
So Ohio State's loss against Minnesota was their 3rd loss in a row. Did you happen to see the end of the Minnesota game last
I didn't,
night?
but I heard it was controversial. That's all I know.
So I got home at 2 a.m. last night. We came from California, and I'm on Twitter scrolling on my way from the airport, and I see there's a whole bunch of commotion about the game. So, of course, I had to go and watch the last of it. And Ohio State was down for at least maybe the last 5 minutes of the game, and then they get into the foul, free throw regimen. And on the last play, there's seconds left of the game. It's tied.
Minnesota has the ball?
Minnesota has the ball. He comes up for a layup. Player on Ohio State jumps up with him, gets all ball, knocks the ball out of the hands of the Minnesota player. Ref calls a foul on Ohio State. And they're replaying it. Even announcers are like, all ball. The crowd, you can hear them in the back screaming because they're replaying it on the big screen.
But did they stop the game to look to see if it was a foul?
And you know
good.
what? They did the FS1 like all insider where the coaches were mic'd up.
Right.
So you heard them the entire game. And I was so surprised that the Ohio State coach wasn't more upset about it. He was kind of just like, didn't say anything off to the side. And I was kind of thinking to myself, why wouldn't you force a replay? Could you?
I don't think you can. I don't think it's like in the NFL where they throw the red flag and they go, we want to challenge that. I don't think they can. Or in the pros, you can challenge.
So
I don't think there's any challenge.
If they want to replay it.
Exactly. And even a call like that, they generally won't. Yeah. It's more only if it's out of bounds and who it's out of bounds on. That's the only calls you're really going to see.
It was a beautiful block. Props to Ohio State guy for taking that risk. But yeah, it was really crappy to see. But at the same time, not really, because that's how we felt. So.
Oh, exactly. Well, kudos to the refs that stuck by their decision on that one. I mean, you really that's the difference between the Rutgers game and that one, though. Was it a block? Did he foul him? Not. It wasn't a rule.
Yeah.
When there's a rule, the refs should know it, and it's a slam dunk. Those are judgmental. That's why you can't really blame refs for those kind of calls, because did he foul him? Did he not? As long as they're consistent. That's the one thing we always would ask for of any ref. Just be consistent. If you're going to call that kind of a play a foul, then do it when the other team does it. Don't look like you're favoring one team or the other and influencing the outcome. That's all we ever ask. And obey the rules.
Right.
If the one team's out of bounds and they shouldn't come back in to catch the ball, you can't. You can't let that happen. Yeah. But I like what I see in let's say the framework of this game is very similar to Purdue. And where I think we're going to really have an advantage, not only in revenge, and we're going to come out on fire, and really the crowd's going to be going nuts, and I feel sorry for those referees, whoever they are. But Ohio State's got 2 freshmen. And the last time we played a team with 2 freshman point guards, I should say, number 1 and number 2, which are interchangeable these days. But their 2 guards are freshmen. And if anybody can remember the last time we played 2 guards, freshman guards, and what happened? Purdue. We got Caleb, we got Mo, we got Paul, we got even Cam, aggressive defenders. We are messing those guys up, to say the least. And now you got 2 freshmen, Sensabaugh, averaging 17 a game. Damn good. 44% from 3. Freshman. And then Thornton, 10 points a game, 45% on his field goals, but 47% from 3. Cam, who is now known as the Candy Man.
Candyman?
Candyman. The Candyman Cam. Candyman Cam, and he mixes it with threes and makes Rutgers win. Play that back.
Oh, goodness.
But anyway, Candyman is shooting 48%. He's on fire.
Yeah.
Thornton is shooting 47% from Ohio. But guess what? I already told you. He's a freshman. Freshman coming into the rack.
Yeah. They don't know what's coming.
Whew. Whew. In a revenge game, you're either going to be blind with ignorance and then play because I don't care, I don't know, or you're going to be rocked out of your mind and play like crap. Sorry. But I like that setup. Our veterans against their freshmen, I'll take that any day, especially when they're pouring in 27 points a game, which is probably close to a third of their offense. Freshmen in the rack. Sorry, guys, you are going to get some hell brought your way. And I think that really bodes well for us, again, with the revenge. I think we got this one pretty solidly. I'm looking for a 10-point double-digit win against Ohio State, who's coming in, like you had said, good research, 3 losses in a row. Zed Key maybe not fully back, or maybe he re-injured it against Minnesota. I don't know. I heard it was like a shoulder injury or something. So I think we're looking real good, and I'm just as excited about the entire season at this point because we are now ranked 15th in the Ken Palm in the nation, number 15, Ken Palm, and the net 17. And for those of you that don't know, that's what really counts towards March Madness and how you get in or not, and who's getting in. You can't go by the AP, the writers voting. They don't vote in who makes the March Madness. So they don't even have Rutgers in the top 25, which is ridiculous. Or the coaches poll. The coaches don't vote who goes to March Madness. So the coaches poll, though, we're getting votes. We're ranked like 30th in the coaches poll. But Ken Palm 15, net 17. They go by strength of schedule. Who did you beat? Where did you beat them? Did you have your full team? They use all the analytics, which is so cool that they do that now, because that makes it a lot more fair.
Yeah.
You could be undefeated, but you played all the high school teams.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You don't get in. And you can be a Division I team, solid, SEC, Big 10. You got 8 losses, 10 losses. But who are they to? The top 25 teams. They get in. So, anyway, it is a complete opposite flip of last year at this time. Mm-hmm. Do you remember? What was it like last year at this time? Rutgers' chances of getting into the March Madness.
They were like ranked 80 to 90th, something.
Exactly. And people were saying, oh, we're never going to get in. It's going to take a miracle to get in. Well, miracles happen. And Rutgers got in. And I think we were ranked 70th in the Ken Palm net. But we beat Ohio State, Michigan, Illinois. We were beating everybody. Mm-hmm. We just ran right through it. And then had that big win at Indiana to really put us over. Mm-hmm. This year, it's the opposite. We don't have to win our way into March Madness. We're in.
Yeah.
We'd have to lose our way out of it. Mm-hmm. So, barring any complete drop and pitiful game performance over the next 10 games, book your tickets for March Madness. You heard it here. Maybe first. I don't know. But looking really good. Look, so that is solid. And that would be a new record for Rutgers. Really 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, but this will really be the 3rd officially in a row. So I think we're looking really good with this kind of metrics.
I have no doubts.
Yeah. And again, barring a complete letdown and lose our way out of it, we're in. So things are looking up. We got some good stuff coming up. Game on Sunday, 2:15 at the Rack. BTN network, I believe.
Yeah.
Watch it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Anything else, Miss B, besides another happy birthday to you?
I'm ready to go eat some food, enjoy my day.
We will do that.
And yeah, I'm excited for Sunday as well. Hopefully it could be a late birthday present.
Okay.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next week for episode 5.
Ciao.
Bye.